Right then, so bit of a different setup and a bit of a different tripod because the header's gone on mine, so take a quick pic of what it looks like, Matt. Pop it there. Yeah. Creativity? So, One Punch Man 81. It doesn't have a name yet, but I'm going to call it Surrounded 2 for now because I can't think of any other name for it. And I feel like that name works best. Until we get an official name, I'll change the thumbnail, but until now, Surrounded 2 was good. Yeah, I mean, it gave me similar feeling to the One Piece chapter this week, which was, I don't know how he's going to get out of it. I don't know how Goro is going to get out of this situation. But yeah, I liked it. Oh wow, Matt liked the One Punch Man chapter. That's so rare. But yeah, it was good. So it started off with, of course, Goro in the hut, because all the A and B class heroes have arrived to deal with him. And he's got the hero book now from the kid, and he's just going through all the details of them. And to be fair, Goro's injured. He popped a hole through steel, well not steel, a metal sheet like it was nothing, he just went, and that's injured Goro. So Goro at least has the strength to like break through steel? Well, I keep saying steel, metal. I don't know how strong he can go, but this is injured Goro, so this is nowhere near his like full power, because as he says himself, he could take care of all of them no problem if he was on his own, or if he was, if he was on his own, or if he was at full peak, but he's not. And then this is why I'm a bit confused. I don't know who to root for in this fight, because obviously the Hero Association are the heroes. They're trying to stop this guy who wants to become a monster and take over. And it's true. But all of them have got their own, well, most of them have got their own kind of hidden agenda on the story as well. And they're not, I can't fully trust them. Oh dear, low battery, 1 second. Yeah, so as I was saying, the Hero Association are very much on the side of, yeah, they're the people who are trying to stop the monster from becoming the villain from becoming the monster and taking down the heroes. But they have a lot of their own personal agendas too. So I suppose I need to root for the heroes, really. Because, yeah, the heroes I need to root for. I should be rooting for the heroes. It's only because I like Goro, because sure he wants to become a villain, but he's not fully there yet. And he's got a soft spot, as we've seen with this kid a few times, and back when he was fighting Metal Bat and then Zenko intervened and then he stopped. He's got a soft spot for kids is what we've noticed. And then of course when the monster went to go say, oh, I'll just kidnap Metal Bat's sister too, he was like, no. And I like that a lot. So he's definitely got potential to not be a villain, you know? Even just an anti-hero. So that's why I'm a bit like, But it was a really good fight, to be fair. So it also goes through all the details of... So basically, for some reason, the heroes are idiots. Like, people call Saitama stupid, okay? He doesn't go shouting his attacks and publicly announcing them. He doesn't have any special attacks to begin with, of course. There's just punch. Well, he has consecutive normal punches and then serious punch, I suppose. But at the end of the day, like, most of them are just standard attacks. It's not anything special like some of what these guys have. And then that's the other reason I feel a bit conflicted about rooting for the heroes, is because they're not all good. Or, like, good heroes. I suppose some of them are okay, but, you know, a lot of them are doing it just to kind of get popular and famous kind of thing. And even the guy says it, like, even the kid says it, you know, in the book it says, oh, well, some heroes just publicly announce it to get popular. But then some people don't, because that makes them more popular that way too. And, you know, so we got to meet some of the A-class heroes, some B-class heroes, some returned. It was, like you said, Glasses returned. That's actually his hero name, Glasses. That's great. There was Death Gatlin, Stinger, Glasses, Wildhorn, Gun, Chain and Toad, Arrow Guy, I can't remember his name, Smile Man, and I think that's about it. There's probably someone else I'm missing. But, you know, Goro comes out and you know, he keeps his attitude up of like, this is why he's got these conflict attitudes, because to the heroes, he's very much just like, oh no, I'm the monster, I'm gonna take you all down, this is not a problem. And like, he gloats to them. The heroes even give him a chance, like, listen, come with us now, we don't have to fight, and we can, no, you know, but you've done a lot, we'd have to arrest you. And he's like, no, you don't understand, you guys will be my 100th, you'll be my 100th victims. And then, fair play to Goro. I mean, when he goes in, he's like, boom, boom, and straight away, because like it goes through their weaknesses as well. Like, So for example, Gun, his weakness is, like, it literally says in the book, he's not very good at close, but he likes fighting with guns. And so straight away, Goro goes straight for him. He's like, yeah, you're my first target. It's just a really good fight scene. But yeah, this was really good, and I've got to get credit for the A class and B class. Like, this felt like they actually had a plan of attack. So like, they had people who were close range, they had people who were mid range, they had people who were long range, and it was really interesting to see that. So when Goro goes in for the attack on Gun, Stinger comes in and swipes at him with his spear. Like, he manages to dodge it, and even Stinger, you know, that kind of comment on the kind of power Goro has is the fact he's still like this against A class heroes, and he's holding his own against 8 of them. So Goro has, I don't know, because there's a bit of a difference between A class and S class is the thing. So like, I mean, you compare so these guys to people like Genos, and let's compare them to like Metal Bat, for example. You know, it's just this kind of, it's difficult to kind of put them into a scale, but Goro is probably, well, he's S class, isn't he? He's like an S class level guy because he's beaten 2 S class heroes. Sure, he caught Tank Top Master off guard, and Metal Bat was injured, but he has beaten S-class heroes, so he's kind of like in between A and S, I'd say. With careful planning, he can beat them. But yeah, obviously even Stinger comments on his abilities, and it's just this, that was probably the stupidest moment of the chapter though, was when, so, by the way, that panel was probably my favourite, this panel was probably my favourite, where like the arrows stopped raining from the sky, because I looked his name Shooter, his special attack's Arrow Rain, so it's like Arrow Rain, boom, 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 and then Goro's just dodging him super close. I really like that. I like it when there's those kind of things, because you think about, I just think about if one day it's going to be in the show, and there's going to be like these super like precise small movements that are going to avoid the arrows for him, and then Shooter's like, how did he avoid my Arrow Rain? There's no way he could have known about it. It's like, it's not that well, it's not that well known. It's like, yes, but you publicly announced this attack. The name Arrow Rain implies that it's coming from the sky. You're an idiot, Shooter. But yeah, I suppose one of my favourite things about this chapter as well was, obviously the whole fight sequence is incredible, but I like how he introduced that Murata and One didn't forget about the side characters from the side stories. So of course Wildhorn makes a return in this, and he's pretty arrogant still, in the sense of like, so for example, like the moment Goro's like, no, I can take you down, he starts to get riled up and annoyed, because we've seen that. He gets riled up quite easy. Like when Saitama said to him back in the chapter, it was like, oh, if there's any problems, don't worry, I'll take him on. And then immediately, Wildhorn got really annoyed because he was a lower rank than him, and he's like, you imply that you're stronger than me? Yeah, so I like that he's brought him back, and especially Glasses. Glasses is probably Saitama if Saitama was the traditional hero, if you know what I mean. So like, he's got that kind of, yeah, so he's working up his basic strength as well. And then this whole fight, like I said, was incredible. I think Chain and Toad, like that little interaction between Glasses and Chain and Toad, because even in like the hero manual, it doesn't have any information about Glasses, and it's genuinely not like, oh, he's dark and mysterious, but he's friendly, really, and it's like with Death Gatling, for example, but with Glasses, it's just generally like, not much is known, but he's getting up the ranks, so we can expect big things from him in the future. And he was really good in this chapter, Glasses was, because he goes and, he was just, I liked what he did, because, you know, they started to get cocky, and then like, you know, Chain and Toad went to start, before Chain and Toad went and started attacking, and Glasses kind of stops him and puts him to one side, he's like, don't underestimate him. This was Bang's disciple, you know? This is Silverfang's disciple. He's not someone to be trifled with, like, don't go easy on him. And Chain and Toad's like, yeah, you're right, actually, that's true. And then, obviously, Chain and Toad's whole attack, and the strategy was just good. I wish, well, Death Gatling didn't do much, of course, because at the end of the day, he has a Gatling gun. He'd end up mowing down most of the heroes. But even, like, Glass's role as support hero, and that was a really interesting and good point, maybe for the future of the Hero Association, is to have roles to split up, well, yeah, to split up into support roles and attack roles, because everyone wants the credit of being the one to take them down. But if you've got no one on the back, just like, for example, so his role for most of it was, you know, making sure everyone was ready. So like, Shooter's arrows, he made sure he got them back for him, put him in his quiver again, and also to kind of block off Goro. And to be fair to him, when Glasses throws the punch at him, even Goro, like, he lands a clean hit on him, and Goro's like, that wasn't bad actually. So he's kind of like Saitama, just not Saitama. You know what I mean? Like, he's Saitama if Saitama was the hero of the shonen story, but he wasn't actually like as powerful as he is. If he was to have like a kind of natural growth, it's kind of like that. And you know, he makes it clear he's like, my role is support, but also to get away. And he makes it clear like, this is the only time I've ever noticed it's more traditional, where like the hero and the villain talk about their powers, and it's like, you know, my ability is endurance. I will not lose an endurance to anyone. I refuse to believe that. And that was a good moment, to be fair. And Garo is struggling throughout this whole chapter. You know, and the kid, I think something's going to happen to the kid. That's the only thing I can think of. So, I don't think I'm missing much. Like, obviously the fight, just this whole scene's incredible. So I really like Chain and Toad, like with the, like there's that one panel where he's kind of like, and he's swinging the chain and sickle. That was really cool. And then like, that was probably the most brutal part of the chapter, where he hits him in the side and cracks his bones, as if Goro hasn't beaten that down already. And then obviously he gets hit with the arrows, so the odds are against him. I don't know, the only thing I can think of on how he's going to get out is through, is if something happens to the kid and that ends up triggering something inside him and starts turning him into a monster. That's the only thing I can think of, because he's in no position to get out. Like, none of the heroes are damaged, really. Like, they try, whenever he goes in for an attack, the other heroes are there to protect, and that's great teamwork. If heroes start working more in teams like that, then their odds against opponents are better. Especially, like, with the role of support heroes, that's a really important thing. Because obviously, like, in game, like, so for example, RPGs and stuff like that, you know, you don't have everyone on the attack. You have, like, 2 or 3 on the attack, and then the other 1 or 2 are on support, and they're to heal, they're to boost, everything like that. Or in any game, like Overwatch, anything like that. So it makes sense. In any teamwork, you can't have everyone attacking, because it's not going to end well. If something goes down, you need someone there to kind of like keep them alive. But yeah, we also learn a bit more about the A-class and the S-class heroes. And we learn a bit about the relationship between A-class and S-class heroes more than anything, is because the A-class heroes get, well, yeah, the A-class heroes kind of put to one side in comparison to the S-class heroes. It was interesting to see this kind of story. So obviously Goro, it starts off because Goro starts like, you know, I'm such a monster, I've taken down 2 S-class heroes, and the association doesn't even bother to send another S-class hero to take me down. Do they think that little of me? And then it's eventually Death Gatling goes, it's not that, it's because we don't get enough credit these days. And I understand where they're coming from, because, you know, at the end of the day, if they deserve more credit, because at the, like they make it clear the S-class heroes get special treatment, they're more popular, everything like that. And us A-class heroes and other heroes get put to one side. Even heroes who have great strength are put to one side, and they're not publicly shown and given enough credit. A bit like someone we know. There he is. Cool. But it's just, but then at the same time, they basically make it clear we're doing this so we get credit. And we can take you down. So we get the credit for taking you down, so more people will pay attention to us. And right, they should, because it shouldn't just be all about the S-class heroes. I've been guilty of this myself, because the amount of times I'm thinking, oh, when are the S-class heroes going to show up to deal with the monsters? It's been quite a bit, especially with this whole monster attack, only because the A-class heroes haven't been able to cut it fully. But yeah, overall, yeah. But they're not very smart, are they? Because at the same time, I get you want credit for the hard work you do. It's fully understandable, and they deserve credit for it. But if there's a guy who's taking down 2 S-class heroes, maybe you should bring in S-class heroes backup. Doesn't matter who, just someone as decent backup. So when you go after him and take him down, you've got an almost guarantee. Like, even if he just stays on the sidelines as support, and if anything goes wrong, he can intervene. But it is true, the S-class heroes do get a lot of credit. I mean, think back to the Meteor incident. Of course, like, no one was going to believe that a C-class hero was gonna busted a Meteor open in one punch and saved pretty much everyone, but at the same time, it's not fair. Like, the Hero Association doesn't have a very fair way of dealing with stuff. They made that clear. But Goro is out of time, because he's got the arrows stuck into him, he's got the, you know, he's bleeding, they've cut him, they've cracked his rib. The only thing, like I said, I can think of before is because the odds are against him, is if something happens to him, maybe the kid is going to run out and be like, no, don't hurt him. On reflex, someone's going to shoot him, or hurt it. Like, I think it's going to be a shot from like Gun or Shooter, probably Death Gatling. And then that's going to trigger something in Goro, and maybe awaken like a monster form in him or something. It's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, overall, this was a really good chapter, like always. The action was incredible. I liked seeing all these all these side story characters come back. It's actually got me hoping for more side story characters to come back in the future. So I'm thinking, like, for example, like the policeman. I think this is going to be more about when Saitama comes back, and he basically comes into the spotlight more, and people start to notice him. He's like, who is this guy? So I think a lot of people aren't going to like him because they're going to think, oh, he's cheating his way up, and then eventually these side story characters can speak up. So like Glasses can be like, no, he saved me. The policeman from that one side story about the police could be like, no, he is actually he's actually a hero. He helped us out in a time where we really needed it. When the Hero Association wasn't helping us, he did. And maybe even like the girl who's apparently I think so one of the big associates of the Hero Association had their cat stolen. Saitama managed to help them, and then she saw his power and she's like, no, he's good. I can vouch for him. And then she tells Dad, and then. So yeah, it's got me hoping that the side story characters aren't just there for side stories, but now they actually have potential to be there and useful. So yeah, good fight. Worried about Garo. The A-class good strategy by the A-class heroes, and it was good, wasn't it? It's very rare there's a bad chapter of One Punch Man. The only thing I didn't really like, actually, normally I don't like these kind of endings, but I accepted it because it was One Punch Man. Only because the way the chapter ends, it doesn't really have it's not like a hint towards anything in the future, or like, I compare it to any other chapters, they're like, oh my god, what's going to happen? It just kind of ended with Garo in the middle of this situation, without any kind of hint to what his next ability is. And with most series, that would annoy me, I think. But I think I can get away with One Punch Man, just because I'm used to those chapters that are only like 10 or 11 pages and barely cover anything kind of thing. But yeah, overall, good. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. Give it a like. If you want to talk about One Punch Man, because I like talking about One Punch Man, comment down below. And subscribe if you want to see more. Whenever these come out, I try and review them on time. I try. I used to be good at it. What happened? Oh dear. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Whenever that is. Probably in a couple of weeks, maybe a month. Cool. See you later, guys.